Hello YouTube, this is Bruno with another Minecraft video for you. Today we're going to talk about two questions. The first is, how can we distribute a large amount of items equally or almost equally? And the other question is, are bamboo powered super smelters dead, or do they just smell funny? What I'm showing here is a bamboo powered super smelter that also doubles as an XP bank. You know that you can get quite a lot of XP by smelting cactus, at least on the Java edition. And the advantage of bamboo is that you don't need a huge farm to generate the necessary fuel. So here we have a fairly compact bamboo farm, which is a variant of Il Mango's sugarcane farm. So the innovation about the thing is that we distribute the bamboo equally among all the furnaces without the use of minecarts, and the system can handle a lot of items. So we have 28 furnaces here, and the system works, I would estimate, at roughly 25 times hopper speed. So each of the units here can pick up items, can pick up bamboo almost with hopper speed, and at the end of the day each of the furnace will get the same amount of bamboo within a very small margin. Perfectly distributing items is not an issue roughly at hopper speed. You could use Il Mango's perfect item distributor, or you could use minecarts to distribute the items. But here we are talking about a scenario where we might have bamboo coming in at a very fast pace, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times hopper speed. The only way how to handle this large amount of items is using minecarts, but these minecarts won't distribute the items perfectly. My system here will be able to handle quite a large amount of items coming in, and it doesn't really matter at the speed at which they come in. They might trickle in at some times and come in many stacks at other times. This system here will distribute the items at many times hopper speed, just depending on how many units you build. This determines the speed, and it will distribute the items almost perfectly. We generate XP all the time, so the setup for this is that we have a bit of a cactus farm, and the cactus farm generates a reasonable amount of cactus, but just a bit less than the bamboo farm gives us fuel. So we will always have a bit of surplus of bamboo, and we have a chest behind each furnace. So you see we have quite a nice reserve of bamboo. So if we actually want to smelt something, say we want to smelt up sand to glass, you just put the sand in here. You can block the cactus supply if you want, and the cactus gets collected in the upper chest. And you could put the item you smelt here. Of course, you could use a shulker unloader or something like that. And now the items will be distributed over all the furnaces using a number of minecarts. Here for this demonstration, the items that are smelted are just ejected into lava. For the user's XP farm, let's just say we have a broken pickups, and let's go into survival, of course. So here we have a pickaxe that is mending and has a durability of only 61 left, so 1500 damage. So you just wait until any of the items smelted accumulate here. You just take them out, and boom, there you go, almost mended. Now you might want to take another furnace, and there you go, we just acquired 20 levels of XP. So that's quite nice. Obviously there are pretty good XP farms out there, but this one is really fast. It gives a ton of XP in a rather short time. I had this running for like 4 hours or something. So as you can see, in each furnace we have almost 1500 XP. So that's quite good. You can build this right near your base where it's running all the time, and you can just go there and pick up XP, as opposed to go to the nether or go to the end where you might have your XP farms. You could ask, isn't there a bit of effort for using bamboo because we have lava as a regenerating source? You've got a point, but the thing about bamboo is that it generates totally automatic. So for bamboo, you just have to be within random tick distance. Pretty much for all other fuel sources, you will need an AFK player. For example, for a lava farm or for a wood farm, where you would also need a bone meal farm. Or you could do a kelp farm, but it's not terribly efficient and creates a lot of lag. The reason why bamboo-powered smelters are not that popular is probably because bamboo is not really efficient at smelting. So as you can see, we need, you probably know we need 4 bamboo to smelt 1 item. So if you do a bamboo powered smelter, you absolutely need some chests behind that are filled. So if you want to smelt a couple of stacks per furnace, so let's say we would throw in 2 double chests of stuff here into the smelter, then each of the furnaces would get over 4 stacks. Each furnace would need over 16 stacks of bamboo to smelt the items down, which in my opinion isn't really that much of a problem, because again, the bamboo farm is running all the time. Bamboo grows really fast, so you will get a lot of bamboo. The specific problem with bamboo, however, is to handle the large amounts. Even from a comparably small farm like that one, you will get bamboo faster than 1 hopper can handle or 2 hoppers can handle. If you build even a larger farm or flying machine, you will have huge amounts of bamboo coming in a really short time. So the classic approach to bamboo smelters is that you just have a farm somewhere and you turn it on and you generate a lot of bamboo, and you have some storage behind your furnaces that stores up the bamboo. But of course, if you just use a water stream, then pretty much all of the bamboo will go in here. So this furnace, or rather this barrel here, will get all the bamboo, while the second furnace gets nothing. Essentially, until the first barrel is filled up, then you could fill up the second barrel. And of course, if the last barrel is filled up, then you could stop the farm. Now, the second approach to that is, of course, to just distribute the bamboo evenly, which could be done using a minecart. So here you would have a farm of bamboo, and the farm would go to the minecart, and whenever the minecart has enough items so that every furnace can get 2 items, then the minecart is released. So let's put some bamboo in here. Enough to send the minecart on its way. Now the problem is, if you get less than 4 bamboo, so here we get 2 bamboo in, then the smelting process will stop. And now we get the next bamboo and the smelting process stops again. So as you can see, we never smelt any cactus while we just waste the bamboo. So we have to make sure that we have at least 4 bamboo in at the same time, or that the bamboo is coming in at a fast enough pace, 1 bamboo every 2.5 seconds. So our smelter needs to do 2 things. First, we must make sure that we don't waste too much bamboo, and on the other hand, we want to distribute the bamboo evenly. What we do is the coming items are distributed over these hoppers here, and each of these cells, so this is 1 white tileable with a few limitations, which I will tell you in a moment. Each of the units has 1 hopper that we read, and we will make sure that it collects up to 46 items and no more. Once all these hoppers are filled to 46 items, we will unlock all the hoppers below that. So all the hoppers are here on 1 redstone line, and these hoppers are locked by this redstone signal, so they are all unlocked at the same time. As soon as the first hopper is out of items, we will stop the item transfer. And another feature is that if 1 hopper like that has the 46 items, the hopper above it will be locked. So this hopper here is locked. It can't take any more bamboo. So we don't have this effect that like the first hopper has to be full and then the second hopper has to be full and so on. But as soon as we reach 46 items, we will lock the hopper above, which also makes the whole thing more efficient. So locked hopper create less lag. And the system is based on that we have a certain amount of items in all these hoppers and we transfer them at the same time. And once the first hopper is empty, all the bottom hoppers are again locked and all the transfers are stopped. So I started designing the system when I was very frustrated with minecarts, and also at the time when we didn't have lava farm yet. So this was kind of a year ago when the current version was 16.5 and we didn't have the ability to regenerate lava. So I thought, how can we first just make sure that we don't waste that much bamboo? So assume we have a furnace, we put some items in there. Even though the bamboo trickles in water time, say using a minecart, we want to make sure that we collect kind of a batch of items and transfer them all at the same time. And this is actually not too hard to do. So you can read this hopper the initial state of the system is that this hopper is empty. So this redstone torch will be enabled. And here we have droppers facing each other that pass the items into each other. So this hopper gets empty, then the redstone torch is enabled. And if the item was in here, it will go into the other side. This is the state of the system, that it's closed. It's not transferring any items. Now, once we start to put in items, we have a signal. This redstone torch will be off whenever there are items in there. If the hopper fills up and we reach signal strength 3 or 46 items, we will activate this piston. The piston will push down the observer. The node block will butt power the dropper, and the dropper will pass the item to the other side. So this is absolutely a Java issue. This wouldn't work in Bedrock. We have here an RS flip-flop, and the reset signal is that the hopper is empty. So this means the item will go in this dropper here, which means this redstone torch will be enabled, which means this hopper is blocked. So if we have items in here, they won't be passed. Now, so this is the reset signal. The set signal is that we reach signal strength 3 on top here. This piston will move the observer and move the items back over. So as soon as we have 46 items in here, this hopper is unlocked until all the items go down to 0. So let's put in a few more items. 44. So we need 2 more to unlock the system. So as you can see, I throw in the third items and the piston activated for a short time. And now the flip-flop changed state and all the items will go into the furnace. And this is just a kind of buffer chest if we have more bamboo than we need at the moment. This happens all the time until this dropper is empty. Then the system resets and we will once more collect items until we have 46. The limitation of a smelter, essentially based on that system, is that you still want to distribute the bamboo evenly, right? So you would have to use a minecart, and a minecart has the limitations of maximum speed, or you would have to use many minecarts. It would be nice to have a system that can actually handle a very large amount of items. And this is the system I'm showing here, which works like this. So this part here is basically the same that I just showed. We added another hopper on top, which can be locked. And now we have, in the bottom, we have the same flip-flop. So this redstone torch will be off and therefore enable this hopper here if we have 46 items in here. However, we also lock this top hopper if we have 46 items in here. And the reason for that is that if we have 2 or more of these units together, and as you can see, they are almost one wide tileable, you have to use a bit of an A-B configuration. So here this would be A, this would be B, and they are completely identical except for this bit on top here. So this makes it one wide tileable, so the signal from one system will not bleed over to the other system. So the basic idea is that we have 2 units. We will only open the bottom hoppers if all of these, like counting hoppers, which are that one, reach 46. So let's put in 46 here. So we are at 40. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you will see that this hopper is locked. So the items will be come in over this ice stream here. And you can see that because we have the redstone on this hopper, this one is locked, it won't accept any more items. So if more items come in over this iron stream, they will go into this hopper here. Now at some point, once this reaches 46, it will lock both of these hoppers. So this block is powered by this redstone signal, and because we have the redstone on top here, this redstone signal will go in there. This redstone is unfortunately necessary, so if we do it like this, this hopper will not be locked, so it could accept any more items. We don't want that, so we have to do it this way. And now we will feed in items until we have 46 here. And now we had 46 in both, so both redstone torches are off, both of these hoppers are unlocked, and the items are transferred. However, Once the first of those hoppers is empty, and this one will be the second one because this didn't have the extra ones, this redstone torch will go on and all the hoppers below will be blocked. We have transferred exactly the same amount of items to both furnaces. There seems to be a differential of one item. The one item difference is actually in this hopper below here. So this hopper has an item while this one hasn't. So at this point the distribution is perfect. The design here is one-way tileable, but unfortunately we can't put an arbitrary amount of items together here. The limitation is that one redstone torch, if it is on, has to lock all the hoppers. So we can easily combine up to 15 of these units to make one item distributor. However, it is possible to extend that by just using repeaters to combine the signal in that way and have a second redstone row here. Because these are slabs, the signal cannot travel down. So this does not create a circle. You can extend the system like that. If you have one run block space and then you could have another unit, in this case of 14 blocks, the signal of this redstone lamp will reach this repeater. However, if we have a signal here, then this signal will reach only 14 blocks because it has to go up here into this target block. But this way you could combine two of these units, each of unit utilizing 14 furnaces or 14 units, and you could extend this to 28, to 42 or even to 56 items. There will be a very slight delay, so a signal essentially might need 2 redstone ticks to get from one side to the other. So the item distribution won't be as perfect as before, but it still works. Now the nice thing about the system is that it really doesn't matter if you throw in the bamboo one by one, so which you could do like that, just throw in single pieces of bamboo. Or if you really have a big batch of bamboo coming in, so all these command blocks will just simulate a farm and generate some bamboo coming in. The only difference is how much bamboo will be in the hoppers here, in the top hoppers. So if you have a lot of items coming in at the same time, these top hoppers might be rather full. However, now if you have only a small amount of items coming in, so let's unlock this one really fast. If the items trickle in at close to hopper speed, then you will see that this hopper will basically transfer all the items it gets down into this hopper until this reaches 46, at which time this hopper will be locked. So there won't be a lot of items in there. At the end of the day, the transferring remains exactly the same. Once all these counting hoppers have received 46 items, we will transfer all the items into the area below until one of these counting hoppers is empty again. Of course, there will be a world download, so you can play around a bit with the system. So here you can just input some bamboo, or here this would simulate a rather slow farm, or you could here simulate a fast farm. You can observe how these all fill in and eventually go into the furnace. Here I have a Supersmelter out of the system. Here's the bamboo. You also have the ability to increase the bamboo production a bit. However, this fairly small bamboo farm is enough to provide more bamboo that you need for smelting up all this cactus you get here. The system will also work, as I showed before, if you run dry in bamboo, if you smelt too many items, because once more, if we transfer bamboo to the furnace, we will transfer at least 46 items in a batch, which allows us to smelt up 11 items, so we won't waste any bamboo. To determine how equally the items are distributed, I created this little setup here. So this is a chicken-powered randomizer. The chickens will lay eggs, and if they lay eggs, we will activate a pulse extender. Here we have 4 chickens, which will actually generate quite a lot of bamboo. Here we have shorter pulse extenders, so if these chickens lay an egg, we will get just something like 16 bamboo, which simulates bamboo coming in a fairly random pattern. And I had this running for a while without any furnaces and just had a look at the chests here, and as you can see, for the first unit, the distribution is almost perfect. The highest I've seen is 29 items for the last stack, the lowest is 23. Considering that we have over 24 stacks, the difference is about 0.4% or 4 items out of 1,000. Now it changes a bit on the other side. As you can see, we have half a stack less items in these chests. And the reason for that, now within them they are again very nicely distributed. The reason for that is that items always come in from this side. These hoppers tend to be a bit fuller than these hoppers. In most cases, once the system stops transferring because one of the counting hoppers is empty, then it will be on this side. We will need an extra redstone tick to transfer the signal on that side, plus maybe a bit of time of processing. We might transfer one more item here. It's still pretty evenly distributed, so the difference here is half a stack for 24 stacks. So the differential between those two is in the region of 2%, while here it was in the region of 0.5%. There are ways to fix this, which would make the distribution even more equal. However, it would complicate the system quite a bit, so I'm not sure if it's worth it. Other possible applications of the item distributor could be, for example, a mass crafting system. If you want to craft gold nuggets into ingots and you want to distribute the gold nuggets equally over 9 chests. Or maybe you build a farm with a friend and you want to split the output. If the farm has a high volume of items coming in, then you could use this system to distribute the items fairly. One limitation, however, the number of different item types that you have. Obviously, you're in the clear if you have up to 5 different types of items. This ice system is designed to recycle items just in case that all the hoppers are locked. So here is a reset system which locks all the hopper on top and also unlocks all the hoppers below, so all these hoppers will now be emptied. This system makes sure that no items get lost, so they are just circled around here and feed again into the system, and at one point there will be enough hoppers open, especially if you have a lot of items coming in, that these items get all picked up. The system is also very lag friendly. It works perfectly if you send the items in full stacks, or at least large groups. And also a lot of the hoppers are locked at the time, so they don't generate any additional lag. Now, if we are not transferring items, then all these hoppers below are locked, and here on top, all hoppers where the counting hopper has 46 items will be locked on top. And of course, at any given time, most of the counting hoppers are full, which means that only relatively few hoppers are open. You would want to put composters on the hopper that go into the chests here. I just omitted them to make it easier to see how the system works. Now, an interesting question is if you can integrate an item filter in the system. Different items go into different slots here. I thought about it for just a brief time and didn't see an immediate solution. But if you have an idea how to do that, just leave me a comment. We are talking about items in very large quantities here, so you could use a stack separation system, for example, for a gold farm to separate the gold nuggets from the rotten flesh and sort only the gold nuggets here. Now, would I build such a system on day 2 of new survival world? No, probably not. I would build a small lava-driven smelter. However, if you have set up your base, if you have mending on your tools, then it's quite convenient to have an XP source close to your base, where you can just go and mend your armor, mend your tools, and you absolutely don't have to build it as big as this one. But you'll want to build a super smelter at some point anyway, so you have to invest a bit of time in providing the fuel. And I think it's not much more complicated to build such a system compared to distributing the bamboo equally with minecarts and then having the hassle of, do I have enough fuel for my furnaces? So why not build it like that, so that I don't have to worry about fuel ever again? I hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you have any questions or idea, just leave a comment. The world download is in the description. and I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.